about her?
My ideal girl. I just want someone who dies when she's with me.
Revered Tenno, my mentor, Arbiter Kozai, is gone. They tell me he is dead, but I reject these lies. Kozai faced down the Wolf of Saturn VI alone. Such a man does not just perish like a dog. You must think this strange, but I beg you, travel to the wreckage of Vesper Relay. There, we will search for the truth. Aspirant Zorba.
Jesus. Is that how long I've been playing? A 1,000 days. Eight, 83 million seconds. Jesus.
sense in hiding anything away. Secrets will just fester in your skull. I will not permit one refractory subject to occupy my entire attention. Don't forget to take a big breath. Soporific vapors. After all, nothing is coming to hurt you. You are safe. Guilty conscience. It's in there with you. If you don't fight me, then the hate won't fight you. Is not supposed to go on you. Back to your brushwork you go. chewing. Paint is not for drinking. To provoke a reaction. And now you have. Good for you. I'll deal with you later. Still under scrutiny. Make no mistake about that. What do you see? Can you show me? Can you paint it for me? This absurd behavior simply has to stop.
I must tell you a difficult truth. Arbiter Kozai left an important task undone. It was his duty to teach me the sacred script of Hexus, but he never did, despite my struggles. So you see, we must find him. How else am I to read the letters he sent? If you have any chromatic atramentum, I can turn your mods into atrographs. It won't change their function at all, but they'll look a lot different. Worthy of a Tenno. I'm sorry, but I can't do anything without chromatic atramentum.
Okay, so that's just to make it look prettier or different, not to change it. $1,200 just for blueprint.
I shall wait. For the truth. What possessed Kozai to seek truth in a clown's playground? If you are sure, I am in your debt.
Alright, so the basis of this new update is to go to Arbiter Hexus and purchase all her parts from this dude. And then do the Follie hunt missions and find 3 different paintings. I'm pretty sure there's other stuff that's necessary for it as well. So, when in doubt, when you're hunting anything, always use Necros for farming. Because even if you're rewarded certain things in missions, regardless of whether you use a Necros always give you extra stuff. Okay, so what was also released on this new update wasn't just this Warframe. It was also this. The double combo. So with this double combo, you get the new skin for Gauss and for Grendel, both at the same time. So what you would typically do to get this, you would farm enough to get 855 platinums to purchase it, or you spend real world money and then you get an additional 425 if you use real world money. So that's new, and then you can buy them individually if you don't want to buy them as a bundle. I'm pretty sure I got what was it that he gave to me? Okay, so they gave me sigils. I'll look into that later. I think they also gave us Santana. Might be mistaken. No. Alright, so we're gonna keep doing the mission. So who knows? Maybe this relay is going to become a functioning relay in time, or maybe it will also be the relay for Foley. But typically relays over time become functioning relays. So who knows how long this will go for before this relay becomes a functioning relay.
Can you please cooperate for longer than 2 minutes this time? Hiding anything away. Secrets will just fester in your skull. You're making progress. I can see it in your brushwork. Well, you've upset the apple cart now. Call for the custodians. Then you'll be sorry. Sometimes you don't know what it's going to be until you've finished. I can see you! Keep painting. We need to go deeper. I don't know how I'm expected to deal with all of you at once. still requiring the soporific vapors. After all, I'll deal with you later. What's wrong? Is it the voices again? Subject is stabilized. Return to cryo.
Did you finish all the shadowgraphs?
I could hardly believe it.
Alright, so out of all the other Warframes, I think this is the most forgiving.
Tenno, this ink. It's forming letters by itself. I make words in my head, and it just flows. And next minute I'm looking at the sacred script of hexes. Every time I think of the same word, it makes the same shapes. All I have to do is remember what it's showing me.
Yes, out of every Warframe you've ever formed before, this one is the most forgiving. You just have to find a painting. If you find all three of them fast enough, you get a different Warframe part. But if you can't find all three of them fast enough, you at least get points, and you keep doing the mission over and over and over again to get more points. Then you could buy the parts from this guy.
Right? I can hear her filthy laughter in my dreams. Well, we shall see who laughs last. I can read the first letter now. It's really short. Here goes. Work hard. Study far? No, study long. Good, Zorba. Happy Kozai. The Oricon were cruel indeed. To make such a wicked joke of a Warframe. You'll need some chromatic atramentum to turn a mod into an atrograph.
Alright, so if I'm lucky enough in the mission for hunting Follie Warframe, you could get weapon or you could get parts. So if I'm lucky enough, I might be able to get a system and a chassis.
Walk the dust road.
And if I'm really
Mediate
lucky,
between any who seek our counsel.
I don't think I'm going to be able to get the blueprint. I think you gotta buy this one, but if I'm lucky enough, I'll be able to get both of these by today without purchasing them using chromatics.
Very well. For the truth.
So out of every Warframe hunt, this is the most forgiving one. Most Warframe ones are long and tedious. I think this is the easiest one out of every single Warframe you've ever farmed. You just come to this relay, find her parts, or find 3 paintings, and if you're fast enough, you're rewarded with a part. But it's really just chance roll. Now what you gotta do is you gotta go to these little floating things that look like ink orbs, and then you shoot them with your operator. At least that's what I do. And once you shoot them with your operator Warframe, you got ink all over your body. You then return to a painting as fast as you can. Any painting. I'm gonna return to C because it's right there. The paint will automatically go onto it, and then there you go. You do the same thing, rinse and repeat. I use the operator for this mission because if the operator dies, who cares? If the Warframe dies, he's down.
I shall call for the custodians. Then you'll be sorry.
You can always tell where it is because it sounds, you can hear the sound of it. It sounds like crystals glistening. But it's just like floating ooze of paint. You just shoot it with your operator blast, or then you go straight towards a painting board.
I think you've learned the value of willing cooperation. Oh, you filthy little... Can you please cooperate for longer than 2 minutes this time? I don't know how I'm expected to deal with all of you at once. I know what you've done. The painting makes it clear. I know you better than anyone. You should feel proud of yourself. Cast the bad thoughts out of your mind and onto the canvas. Out they go. Splish, splash, splosh. I will not permit one refractory subject to occupy my entire attention. I know what you're capable of, so I am taking no chances. Let your fears disappear in strokes of your to us strangling them. You wanted to provoke a reaction, and now you have. Good for you. Deal with you presently. You can't run from a guilty conscience. It's in there with you. Subject is stabilized. Return to cryo.
Come find me in the relay.
Alright, so I'm gonna do just one more hour of this and see if I could get the chassis. I know I'm not exactly. Let me see last mission results. Yeah, so bringing Necros in doesn't really change anything. Yeah. So yeah, it doesn't really change. I got 5 atriums. So having Necros doesn't really do much of anything. Unless maybe I didn't use his power. So I'll use him one more time and see what happens. And I'll try to kill as many enemies with Necros, not just search, and see what happens. If nothing happens, then that means there's no point bringing a Necros or Hydroid.
don't know how I'm expected to deal with all of you at once. necrotic vapors. After all, every feeling you have ever felt. You can't run from a guilty conscience. It's in there with you. I simply do not have the time for this. You just need to paint. That's all. Everything will be made clear in time. Deal with you presently. I'd be extremely cautious with my behavior. Back to your brushwork you go. And there it all is, laid out as plain as day.
But now you're back.
Oh, that's interesting. You could get a new locust seed. Huh. Wonder what that's all about. Let's go check out this third letter. Wait, actually, before that. Yeah, so having Necros don't do jack squat. Nothing changed. Kill enemies or not, you still always get 5 regardless. So having Necros does nothing. Necros, Hydroid, or any Warframe that does farming does nothing. Nothing whatsoever at all. Those might as well use any randomly super strong Warframe. Not that you have to, but if you want to just make things very fast for yourself. I think I would go with Vauban or something. To at least stop the enemies from bothering me while I'm searching.
Keep bringing me the Atramentum, friend Tenno. I can read the first letter now. It's really short. Here goes. Work hard. Study... far? No, study long. Good, Zorba. Happy Kozai. You have returned alive, Tenno! Praise... I'm sorry, but I can't do anything without chromatic Atramentum.
143 is not too bad. I just started like 30 minutes ago. If you consider the time which I actually started the mission, I started the mission like around, let's say like 10:30, 30, yeah, a little bit over 30 minutes. I'd say 40 minutes. I get 143 in 40 minutes. It's not too great.
I have seen you walking these relays so many times.
But if I could get 100 every
To think
30
you
minutes, then that's pretty
One
good.
day, speak to me.
Because that means within a 4-hour marker, I could get both a chassis and... actually, no. I think within just 2 hours, if I continuously do it over and over again, I could get one of them. A fully one of them. And then the remaining would give me a certain amount to get to maybe 100. But I would still need another 300. So I would say a full 4 hours.
But I am...
It would take you maybe a full 3 to 4 hours just to get both of these. Probably a good 4 hours to get both of these, which is not too bad because you're talking about a full Warframe. So it may take you an entire day to get all the parts for this Warframe, including the blueprint. That's not bad at all, in my opinion. Or let's say it doesn't take you a full day, it takes you 2 days of playing Warframe for like, if I play Warframe for 4 hours each day, I could get 1 or 2 parts. And then the following day, I could get another part. If I'm lucky, I get a system. And if I'm unlucky, after that 4 hours in that following day, I could still buy the system. And then the third day, I should be able to farm within the 4-hour period to get enough to get this, at least 500 for this, if we're talking 4 hours. And then the 5th day I'll be able to get enough. So you could get this Warframe within under a week. About 3 to 4 days, I would say. If you're doing the 4 hour each day for playing just Warframe for 4 hours, you could get it within 2 to 3 days. But if you're not doing the 4-hour period, you could get it within 4 to 5 days. Let's say you only play Warframe for 2 hours. You could probably get it within 5 days, but you would have to be doing this mission alone. So I think
that they are senior to us.
I believe.
What do they know of what we know?
I believe yeah, I believe it will probably take me about 5 days. If I'm not too busy, but since I'm busy, it'll probably take me an entire week just to get this Warframe, which is not bad. An entire week just to get one Warframe. That's not bad at all. Most games you will have to take an entire month just to get a companion or a new character. So Warframe is very forgiving. It will take you a week to get this character.
If the Lotus had ever failed you, if her nature had betrayed her, we Arbiters go and deliver judgment.
Alright, so what I'll do next is I'm going to check out it says something about dojo stuff. So I'll see if the game has given new dojo stuff. It's only way to one way to find out. It's decorations. Well, first let's go to weapons. Or I could simply go to communications, clients, and then check researches. Let's say here, Brown, research. Okay, so there's no research to be done. Alright, so I don't have to worry about that. So now, let's do decorations. See what new decorations we're going to have. Visitors, that's always been there. 1999 has been there as well. There'll probably be new decorations under Warframe or Tenno. Nope. Nope, so there's no decorations. Oh, I guess the update is only 4 or 5 things. Well, which Warframe would be more likely to say coming in hot and would proceed to jump on top of your PC setup on a stream. Now, if you're new, if you've never played the game, let's say if I decide to play something like Fallout or League of Legends, and I've never played those games before, I would want an opinion from someone who would tell me how to play the game and what Warframe to use in order, or what character to use in order to make my life easier and to get things faster and to not die as many times. So if that's what we're going for, let's say if you're a new player to the game, a very new player to the game, a hot Warframe would be considered. Let's not go for a form account. Let's go name. Now at the beginning of Warframe, you're only given 3 Warframes: Mag, Vault, and Excalibur. But normally people won't go with who they have defaulted to be used. They will go with what other people recommend for them to pursue. And something that you get very early game, that you have to go deep into it. So if you're able to skip through a lot of things, I would say the main thing you have to do to see Warframe to get will probably be the one that most people use to kill everything real quick and to survive at the same time. It would probably be the one that doesn't go down a lot. It would probably be Revenant, Wukong, Wukong, or Sarn, or Saren. Because unlike the other Warframe, Saren has a regeneration ability where she could, no matter what type of mission she's in, as long as she's using her regenerative spores, it will help her survive. Now, there's many other factors to consider if you're talking about just getting into the game and you want to pick a Warframe that could make you survive long, that could make you do almost anything, that make you to farm things easier, make your life easier so you don't have to take long to do things. And then there are other people who just want Warframe that looks good, and also if they were to make like miniatures and put it on top of their dashboard, a miniature that looks strong or a miniature that looks hot, I will always go with Sarn, because you know, I would say out of all the characters in the game, she basically has almost everything. It's between her and Revenant. It would be between her and Revenant, in my opinion. It would be between her, Revenant, Wukong. Those were the three. So if you want to make a miniature, you know, who would you choose? But like, well, if you're going for looks, it would be her, Wukong, Revenant, or Wisp. Those would be the Warframes you'll want to pick. Like if you're talking about miniatures and survivability in the game and other things as well. Because if you just want miniatures, it's like, oh, I want a big-breasted looking Warframe. You know, the biggest breasted Warframe is Sarn. I say, or I want a big butt Warframe. Well, the biggest butt Warframe is Wisp. So if you just want a miniature of it, or just a look, or if I want the strongest survivable Warframe, I would go with something like Revenant or Wukong for killing, not just survivability, mostly for killing. But if I don't want to go with like look, if I want to just go with big sex appeal or survivability and stuff, most of that stuff would be defaulted to like, say someone like Grendel or Rhino. So there's 5 you could choose from. To be honest with you, you go with Sarn, you go with Wukong, you go with Revenant, you go with Grendel, and then you go with Rhino. But sometimes Rhino could go down, so you would pick someone like Wisp. So those would be my 5. It would be Wukong for just straight killing and for survivability, but eventually he might die if you don't know how to use him. And then also here's another one to throw into the mix as well, Zaku. So it'll be mostly like 6, more, not really 5. It'll be Wukong, Zaku, Sarn, Revenant. Where's Revenant? Revenant. And if you don't want to use a Rhino, then go for a Wisp. And then you go for Grendel. Oh, wait a minute. Did I get rid of Grendel? I think I might have subsumed Grendel. So I subsumed Grendel, yes. And then just Grendel. So in all truth, there's really only like 5 or 6 Warframes you really need. So a lot of people might disagree, but it's only 5 or 6 Warframes you need. One, if you just want to put it on top of your shelf to look at it, like if you want to buy a toy of it, and another if you want to like just to survive in the game. It would be like really just 5 to 6 Warframes you need. It could be and sometimes it's 7. So, but I would say it's a total of 6. It would be the Grendel I'm speaking about, because you could use this ability on other people, and then it will be, let's see, where was I? It'll be Revenant, that's right here. Then it'll be Sarn, that's 3. And it'll be a Wisp. Then it'll be Wukong. And then the 6 will be whoever you choose it to be. Like say Tempo for damage. But over time, even though he does a lot of damage, he doesn't do anything to really heal himself. So you have to think about that as well. See, when it comes to like strong survival missions, you want to go with things Warframe that will make you survive for very long. So you typically want to go with high health, high armor, or high shields. They'll make you survive long. It's not just about something like Hildren that could kill. It's also survivability. So you would go with something that could regenerate its health, and also or regenerate their shields or regenerate their armor. So I typically will always recommend people, if you want to do a lot of killing, a lot of damage, and having health, you would go with someone like Revenant. Or you go with someone like Sarn that does a lot of killing but could regenerate her health as well. So that's another one. And then you go with something like Temple, who could do a lot of physical damage, but he doesn't do a lot of regeneration of health. So you would go with someone like also like Wukong that could do a lot of damage, and he could go invisible. He cannot really regenerate health, but he could go invisible, and he has a support companion as well. But sometimes a lot of people don't know how to use him either, so they switch to Wisp. So you throw a Wisp in if you not sure how to use Wukong, and you throw a Wisp in. And then your fifth would be either the Temple Warframe or a Warframe like Ivara, that you could stay invisible for a long time, or Hildren. So to answer the question you asked, which Warframe would be more likely to say coming in hot and would proceed to jump on top of your PC setup on stream. So the Warframe that would be coming in hot is always the Warframes that always work all the time, and it will typically be the ones that have always been working. But the ones that are new, that are more to the people of the generation now that works, would be the one that I've just said, and that would typically always be Hildren. If you don't like shields, some people like to fly around with Hildren, and then we'll go from Hildren and we'll go straight into someone like Revenant. You go straight down to Revenant here, which does a lot of killing and has a lot of armor and stuff. And then you go to someone like Sarn, who could always regenerate her health, and she does a lot of killing. And from those 3, you would proceed to a traditional one like Rhino, where all you gotta do is increase his armor, where he's optional. And then from there, you go to someone like Wisp, which is beneficial for stunning enemies and also for doing a lot of damage as well. And she could go invisible sometimes as well. And then you go from that to someone like Zaku, who could strip enemies of all their weapons and does a lot of killing as well, and stun enemies. And then someone like Wukong, who has a lot of armor, a lot of health, and is melee damage. So it's between 1, 2, 3. Throw in Temple there as well. 4, 5, 6. Actually, more like 5. Remove Rhino. 5. 6. 6, Avara. 7. Yeah, that should be it. 7. There should be. You only really need 7 Warframes for any type of mode, for any mission, and that will always be coming in hot. You will always have spy missions, and if you are always going down the I'm scared to be killed route, you will always use this Warframe at 175 efficiency. Period. Saves your life, make you'll survive longer. If you want to have fun and just kill everything for the sake of killing everything, then you use someone like Revenant. If you want an easy life, at the beginning, first starting Warframe and midway Warframe, use Rhino. And if you want to truly kill everything, you go with this Warframe. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, Temple. Then you go from Temple. You can even use this to go small. And go very, very small so no enemy can ever touch you. So that's 7. Titania. And then you go 8. Wukong 9. And Zaku 10. So in all truth is 10. I said 7 is 10. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because this is more like for beginners. So save the life. 6, 7. 8, 9, 8. I might be miscounting. Let's start over. There's a total of 10 of them. The 10 you only need. Just remember, is any one of these will make you survive long, and it's good to look at as well. Even if you were to purchase some doll of them, they're pretty awesome to look at as well. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's it. So it's Zaku, Wukong, Wisp, 1, 2, 3, 4, Titania, Temple 5, Siren 6, Revenant 7, Rhino 8. Simply if you are a beginner of the game, you will feel like invincible with Rhino. 8. Nine, Ivara, and 10, Hildren. Those are the 10. Those are the ones you really need, because every other Warframe can die past, like, say, a certain point when they're fighting very strong enemies. Everyone likes to use Mesa, but Mesa's a forward shooting Warframe and she has very low health and very low shields. Same as Mag, same as Necro, same as a lot of them. You gotta think about everything when it comes to a Warframe. Their shields, their health, their regenerative capacity, their ability to crowd control, and these are the Warframes that will do it. Alright? Plain and simple. Zaku will strip enemies of their weapons and can stun them. He can't regenerate his health, but he can pick up health orbs and stuff on the ground while enemies are stunned. Wukong just kills everyone. He has a decent amount of health, decent amount of armor, can survive for a long time. He has a first ability that's able to support him as well. Wisp is basically can stun everything around her. If she jumps and she aim glides, she doesn't get hits a lot in a mission. You're talking about things regards to dolls, and dolls, how dolls look. If you're trying to buy a doll, like imagine this in doll form, the Halo and stuff, that's Zaku. Or Imagine something like Wukong in doll form, and you could pick different variations of it, of how you want it. Or maybe you just like Black Knight Wukong from that other game, and you want to play Wukong. And then you have Wisp, you have Zaku, and all three of those, and then go up to something like Titania. So even in doll form, this looked pretty good. And then she turns into a small butterfly, and in doll form, drawn it looks pretty good as well. And then you go from someone just like Sarn. Say you want something to look more sexy, you know, you want your Warframe with big breasts or big butt and stuff. But like, well, that's what Sarn is. She has the whole package there. Like Wisp has the butt, Sarn has the breast. That's all there is to it. Like, if you're the dude that likes that stuff. But if you're a female that likes big muscular guys and stuff, you go for someone like Rana. Plus, in missions for beginners, he's pretty OP. And even if you're fighting very strong enemies, when he does a Rhino Stomp, if your range is like 175, 190, enemies within the area will be stunned no matter how strong they are. They'll either be standing in place or they'll go up above the ground. And then you move from that, you go to the next one. Revenant is pretty sweet looking as well. And you could go for different styles. This is his Mephisto style, which is basically the devil or something. And then you go straight from that into where is it? And all these Warframes can survive for a very long time. Let's say you're going through a 2-hour survival. If you just go invisible with this Warframe Ivara at 175 efficiency, they can't find you. Especially if you have the mod on silencing of your weapons. You could be shooting at an enemy over and over again. They can't find you because you have silencing on your weapons. So they'll be looking for you while invisible the whole time shooting people, but they won't be able to find you. So, and then there's also the factor of Hildren as well. Let's say if enemies cannot fly, well, you could fly with this Warframe and you could strip enemies of armor at the same time. So you cannot stun them, but you could, well, you can stun them. Once you fly, you're in a stun mode. Depending on how the range of your stun, you could pull energy orbs to drop from the enemy over time while moving around in the air at the same time. Drop down, pick up your energy, get back up in the air, support your fellow Warframes. So, and then this, and last but not least, she was last but not least. Every other Warframe that I didn't mention are more susceptible to damage. They do a lot of damage, they can survive as well, but the Warframes I mentioned are fan favorites and at the same time can survive for long periods of time. Other Warframes might not be able to. Like Harrow could survive for a very long time, but if he doesn't throw on his fourth ability at the exact moment, he goes down. So you have to know when to throw on his fourth. And same for all the other Warframes. They're very tanky, but eventually over time they will die if they don't have a health regeneration ability, a shield regeneration ability, or an armor regeneration ability. Like Nidus has an ability to cheat death, but you have to stack that up to get there. And many times when that happens, he won't get there in time, so he'll die. Same as any other Warframe. And the reason why I don't include like the God Warframes like Valkyrie and Nexus, because I believe that's cheating. You know, I'll prove it. But if you're the type of person that simply want to be, I don't want to be bothered by anything whatsoever at all. It's not about what's hot and what's not. I just don't give a shit. I don't want to die. I don't want to die a lot. That's all I care about. And you're in the perfect place, because there are only three. There are only three Warframes that will allow you to do this. Valkyrie, Nyx, and I believe one other Warframe. I forgot the name. That after a certain period they go invisible. I was thinking it was Nidus, but it was someone else. I think it might be Sarn, because as long as she could keep healing herself, she won't die. So in all truth, I'll be 100% honest, in all truth there's 12. If you add the two Invincibles, which is Valkyrie and Nyx, those are the 12 you need. So as you stated, coming in hot, what would be the best Warframes to play on your PC? It would be one of those three. So once you first start the game, you will introduce the three Warframes you could select. Select any one of them, because it won't matter in the long run, because out of the 12 that I'm speaking about, those are the ones you will really need to do anything in Warframe whatsoever at all. I'll show you. This is one of the God Warframes. I say God, they're not really God. When she runs out of energy, she's susceptible to get killed, just like anyone else. But depending on how you mod her, it probably will be hard for anyone to do so, because you don't put prime flow on her. You just put regular flow, and then you put an arcane that just replenishes health over time of 150. Well, I'll show you. You only really need 12 Warframes in Warframe to just have and to own and to enjoy the game. You only really need 5 Warframes in total just to beat the game. Now, when I'm in this mode, I'll prove the point. Typically, if you don't do anything, you'll die with your Warframe. But if you're using someone like Nyx, you don't really have to do much of anything. You just, once you get to her cap, you just turn on her fourth and just walk around. And then search. As long as you have her efficiency at 145, you're good. I mean, not 145, 175. As long as her efficiency is at 175, and she has the Prime Flow mod on, or Flow mod on, and she has 2 arcanes that constantly give her energy, and she will never go down. So you could just look with her shields on. So this is
Squeeze all of the bad into a big, beautiful balloon and let it go.
wait, did they change her ability? Last time I remember, once they turn on her fourth, she could roll. Don't tell me they changed it again. I remember you could roll with her fourth on.
I can have you put back in your capsule like that. Good. Recover your focus.
I have done and no more.
Okay, the roll still exists. It only exists with the melee weapon, which is kind of fucking stupid. Why would she roll with just a melee weapon on? So the moment I put the shotgun on, she can't roll, or the pistol on, she can't roll. But the moment I switch to melee, all of a sudden she could roll. That's so fucking dumb. So just to rinse and repeat, in order to do this mission, you just have to go to like something that you hear like sounds like a crystal,
Just take a little time.
and then you shoot
I think.
that ooze that look like some ooze that's floating upwards. And then after shooting it, the ooze get on your body, and then you run back to one of the paintings, and then it will go on to the painting. So you just have to listen to something that sounds like crystal fluttering, and if you see something that looks like ooze floating into the air, you shoot the ooze, and then you run back to a painting. That's pretty much how that mission goes.
Can you please cooperate for longer than 2 minutes this time? You can't run. What's wrong? Is it the voices again? You can't run from a guilty conscience. It's in there with you. Just let your brush do what it wants. It might surprise you. I know what you've done. The painting makes it clear. I know you better than anyone. not for chewing. Paint is not for drinking.
Alright, I'm gonna abort this mission because one, it'll take you forever to do it all by yourself, and two, I said I was only gonna do 2 hours. But yeah, those 12 Warframes. Now, in truth, you only really need like 5 Warframes in the game, 5 or maybe 7. But I say 12 just to to enjoy the game. Like if you want real big brawny looking dude Warframes, you pick Rhino and say someone like Hildren. Like just for the fashion itself, you know, or the sex appeal. But if you're not interested in the sex appeal and all that stuff, you play it for whatever. It's like me, I don't care about that stuff. I care about their abilities and stuff. That matters. But some people are really into that stuff, so I mention those things simply because of that's what they're into. They want not just to experience the game and to beat the game and to enjoy the power that the characters or the Warframes have. They want a specific look that's come with regards to what the character represents. And those are the ones that have like very good looks. I would say Frost has a good look, but abilities, capabilities at the same time, not so much. So if you're looking for the whole package, those are the ones I would go for. Like someone like Nova is great and everything, and it's awesome, but survivability of Nova is not that great as well. So like Nyx wouldn't be great at surviving if it wasn't for the fact that she has 175 efficiency, and like she has 175 efficiency with prime flow on or flow on. So if you decide to like go down the route and have assimilate, but with not with this on, not with duration, you just put flow or prime flow on. I would suggest to put prime flow on if you want to keep on her fourth for a very long time. But this works as well, because what this does is this gives 150 energy back to your allies within 15 minutes, and there's a 15-second cooldown. So every energy pickup you get 60% chance to replenish 150 energy. So it's not guaranteed, but it's more than 50%. So that's why I would say maybe it's a good idea to go with prime flow instead of just flow. But either way, doesn't really matter, because in the end, like these are Warframes, her and Valkyrie are the ones that are considered to last very long in the missions without too much effort whatsoever at all. And most missions in Warframe aren't ridiculously long, except for maybe endless missions where you have long survival or long defense missions, and those could go beyond 1 hour, 2 hours, depends. In a Warframe like Nyx and Valkyrie could survive for a very long time, even if the enemies stop dropping a lot of health or a lot of energy, depends on your modifications. So I throw Valkyrie and Nyx into the mix of those 10 other Warframes, simply because if you don't want to bother stressing yourself out, those are the ones to use.
A little chaos, John.
So just for one last time, the Warframes that will make you survive for a very long time and kind of look good as well. It's like Ashe looks very good as a Warframe. So does Atlas, but they don't survive long. Banshee can survive for a certain long period, and she has a good-looking Warframe as well, good-looking design. Depending on the type you have, her outfit looks great and everything, and she would be a good model design if you were to create a miniature. But unfortunately, she doesn't survive long. Baruch has a fantastic model design, depending on the outfit she's wearing. You have something that looks like Borderlands, and then something that looks like straight out of Dark Souls game and everything. But unfortunately, his survivability is more of a frontal one, and not a 360-degree one. Same as Caliban, same as Chroma. Chroma could survive for a very long time in many missions because he has both a health buff and an arm. So Rhino is very friendly and easy to use. So you have Revan, you have Rhino, all the ones I was talking about before. Alright? Like if you don't want any Chroma, then you start from the beginning with Hildren, then you go to Ivara, and then you go to someone like Nyx. If you have 175 efficiency with Prime Flow on, and then you go from those 3 Warframes to Revenant, and then you go to Rhino, and then you go from Rhino to someone like Temple for pure damage and pure damage output. Though he cannot survive for a long period of time, I wouldn't suggest using him, to be honest with you, if you're talking about survival. But if you're talking about just killing and having fun killing, you can. But if overall survival, he won't last for a very long time. So if you really think about it, you should scratch him from off of there, and then you put someone on that will survive much longer. So someone like Valkyr. So Valkyr would be your 5th choice out of the other Warframe. So that's 5. And then you go from someone like Valkyr to someone like Wisp, whose sole purpose is to stun enemies and use her powers, reservoir powers, well, Wisp powers and reservoir powers, in order to give you both health, both speed boost, both shot boost, and many other things that comes with her. And then after you do that, you then go from her to someone like Zaku that strips enemies' weapons from them, and to make sure you survive long missions by stripping enemy weapons and stunning enemies using the various powers from Zaku. And then you go straight from someone like Zaku, and then you go straight to someone like Wukong, who does a heavy amount of melee damage and melee team up damage. He has lots of health, he has a decent amount of shields, and he has a decent amount of armor. So he will survive for a very long time, but he won't survive for a very, very long time. And then that should be it. You have 1. So those will be my 12 Warframes. It'll be Zaku, it'll be Wukong, it'll be Wisp, it'll be, oh, I almost forgot, Titania. Those 3, Titania. She could go very small, she could survive for a long time. And then the 4th one would be Sarn, and the 5th one would be Revenant, and then 6th one would be Rhino, and the 7th one would be Nyx, and the 8th one would be where? The 8th one would be Hildren, and 9th. See, I'm missing something. Let me go over this. I have to be accurate about this. Like, if you want honest answer and honest truth, you have to be accurate about certain things based on what you've been using for many years. So I would go with Hildren. That's 1. Then I would go with Ivara. That's 2. Based on experience and based on survivability, and based on how the characters they look. I mean, Ivara maybe be the ugliest looking Warframe, but survived for a very long time. So that's 1, that's 2. And then survivability, you have someone like Inaros. But if people don't know how to use Inaros, they will always die using Inaros, because they think that they know how to use Inaros, but they don't know how to use Inaros. So I don't include Inaros, even though some people know how to. So that's my honest take on Inaros. If you're just jumping in and you don't want to learn things very much, Hildren, Ivara, 1, 2. Remnant is 3. Rhino is 4. Sarn is 5. Titania is 6. Valkyr is 7. Wisp is 8. Zaku is 9. Wukong is 10. And to be very detailed here, and very brutally honest and very detailed. Chroma can survive for a certain time, but if you don't know how to use them, you'll die with them. So I'm retracing my steps. Hildren, it'll be Hildren. It'll be between Chroma and Naros, Chroma and Naros. Chroma and Naros, Chroma and Naros. Neither. Because if people don't know how to use Chroma and Naros, they die. So it'll be Hildren, it'll be Ivara. Hildren, Ivara. Hildren, Ivara. And honestly, I would throw in Loki. No one believes me when I say this, but yes, I'm going to throw in Loki. Because if you have Loki at 175 efficiency, let's say I decide to put him at 175 and not at 130, and his duration period is at this height, at 175 efficiency, and his duration is this height. Hardly anyone could kill him in the game because he will always be invisible. So that's, I'm being brutally honest with regards to anyone who's ever want to take up Warframe. It'll be Hildren, it'll be Ivara. Survivability. Hildren, Ivara. Ivara stayed invisible for a long time. Hildren has a lot of shields, could strip enemy of energy. Hildren, Ivara. All these other Warframes, Inaros, Chroma, you would have to know how to use them. If you don't know how to use them, you'll die using them. So Hildren, Ivara. Loki. Nyx. You don't need to be complicated and know how to use Nyx. You just need 175 efficiency, prime flow, and 2 arcanes that constantly give her energy, and she's good. That's the 4th Warframe. And you could coast using her in mission. 5. Rhino. Not very complicated Warframe to use, quite easy, simple for beginners. Can survive for very high tier missions depending on how much armor and how much how much armor and how much fast how he could turn on his ability fast in range. If you could turn on his ability fast with a fast turning on ability like I forgot the name of the fast hands or something like that, then his second ability will be like 1 second. If an enemy knocks it off and makes him vulnerable, it'll take him 1 second to turn it back on. So you build him for efficiency and strength and armor. So that's 5. We go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then Revenant would be 6. Sarn would be 7th because she could regenerate her health. He has mess for skin. Sarn would be 7th. Titania would be 8. She could turn into a butterfly and stay out of danger. Tempo is good, but he's just a killer. He'll die. 8. Titania. Trinity is very good, but if you're not fast enough how to use her power, she'll die. So let's throw Trinity as 8, because I know how to use her. I know how to survive with her for a very long time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Valkyrie is almost 9 invincible. Kind of like the same thing this go. She'll be 9. Wisp is very good for stunning, health regeneration, and speed. 10. 11 is Zaku for stripping enemies' armor, stunning enemies, and supporting Goop, as well as to stay out of danger. 11. And then Wukong is for killing a lot, and because he has lots of health, decent amount of armor. You could build him for even more armor, decent shields. So all rounder, he's an enemy that could do a lot of damage to any enemy types, melee wise. Plus he has the ability to go invisible and to stay invisible for a long time. So if you build him for a max duration, he's good. And those are the 12 Warframes I would go for if I was a beginner. Like, you start the game, they give you a beginner 3 Warframe: Mag, Excalibur, and Volt. You pick any one of those beginners, and then from those beginners, you just say, okay, I got my beginners. But I only selected because the game told me to. Moving forward, the only 12 Warframes you will ever need in the game to do any mission in the game are the 12 that I just said. All other Warframes you do not need whatsoever at all. If you want long survival, you would pick the Warframes that have lots of armor, lots of health, and could have health regenerations. If you want an easy ride, you pick Warframes like Hildren, Ivara. They just stay invisible, they just stay in the air, they just coast. So that's 1, 2. If you don't know how to use Inaros, you'll die a lot. That's why I didn't put Inaros on there. The same as Lavos. So easy Warframes to use, but have a perk or a health or a type of ability that could make you survive without trying too hard. It'll be Hildren, it'll be Ivara, it'll be Loki. We say Loki has low health, low armor, low of everything, but Loki has the ability to stay invisible for a very long time. And with, like, I believe it's, what the hell is the name of that mod? It's not Fast Hands. Natural Talent. If you decide to put Natural Talent on, like say I have this Loki at this, and I decide to put Natural Talent here, or not even here, let's say here, and I put Natural Talent, if I put Natural Talent here, it's a wrap for any enemies, because at this high duration, all he has to do is stay in the mission for a long time. It'll be like 30, 35 seconds, 40 seconds. And the moment he hits Natural Talent, it'll take 1 second for him to put on his invisibility again. And with the amount of energy, he has 175 here. With a Prime Flow, if you don't want to use a flow, he can basically stay invisible in mission for a long time. I don't even give a damn about his health or shields or anything, because his whole kit revolves around being invisible, shooting enemies without them hearing his weapon. So he could stay in a little corner on top of a hill, bop, 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 keep shooting a boss over and over again. Boss is dead. Boss don't know where he's getting shot from. See? That's what I'm saying. You have to make your life easy in Warframe. So I would go with Hildren, Ivara, Loki. Everyone wants to pick Mesa to kill everything, but she's weak. She gets shot from behind in the back, she's dead. So 1, 2, 3. Her, 4. Nyx, for just to walk and kill everything, and then mission is over. 175 efficiency, Prime Flow. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Revenant 5. Rhino 6. Sarn 7. Titania 8. Valkyr 9. Wisp 10. Zaku 11. And Wukong 12. These other Warframes have not been picked because they'll die. After a certain period, they'll die. They're too busy killing enemies in the front, enemy will shoot them from the back, dead. Example. We're like, oh, you know what, not even example. Okay, so where did I stop at? Loki. And I continue from Loki. Why I pick her? Because with 175 efficiency, she just turned on her 4th bubble, she just walked through enemies. They're all shooting her bombs, grenades, any type of effect. does not work on her with the bubble up. Does the bubble stay up forever? No. But would it stay up for a long period of time? Enough for you to complete your mission and not die once. And then you go for Revenant, because Revenant has Mesmer Skin here. This will basically is his lifesaver right here. The amount of enemies or the number of charges he get will save him from dying over and over again. That combined with his second ability, I mean with his third, these two together, it's a wrap. Is what these two do together, work together. And then there's the ability that you just mind control all enemies. So if things are getting hot and heavy, you just mind control enemies and let them fight for you. Let them kill everything for you. You just do your hacking, or you just search for whatever you want, and it's all good. And then from there you go straight to Rhino, which is the easiest big, strong, muscular Warframe in the game. His sole purpose is, when you first start the game, you want your easiest life to happen early game. This is your first easiest life. This is the first Warframe I would recommend people to pick to destroy every single mission in Warframe and complete your star chart with, because his sole purpose is to make your life easy. His sole purpose is not to make you survive very, very, very long in mission, but is to make your life easy when you first start the game. And then you move to someone like Sarn, and you say, well, why the hell would I want to pick her? Because she has the ability to regenerate her health with Mold. So no matter how powerful the enemy is, they're going to be shooting the Mold. The Mold explodes, they take damage, but at the same time, every time she does it, she regenerates her health, or percentage of her health every time she does it. Her health is 725 health and a buff duration of 6.5. So she could survive for a very, very long time in missions, and plus she's a crowd control Warframe that kills everything. So she's both a killer and health regeneration Warframe. So that's that. And then you move down to Titania. Her sole purpose is to kill everything around her and stay in like a butterfly form. So she goes into her little butterfly form and kill everything in her butterfly form. An enemy can't really hit her because she's so damn small, which allows you to survive for a very, very long time. Once again, another Warframe that's easy to use, and you can survive for a long time and kill a lot of enemies as well. And the Warframe looks good as well if you want to have a toy or a collectible toy of it. And then there's my favorite, Trinity, but I didn't put her within those 12. I just put her like as a default 13 because I know how to use her. She's a great support for everyone. Every single one of her abilities is necessary and helpful, and she could survive for a very long time in mission if you know how to use both Link and Energy Vampire in conjunctions together. So what you typically do is you put Energy Vampire on the enemies first, then you lift them up with the second, and you put on Link third. 1, 2, 3. And you stay near said enemies. Stay near to your floating enemies. Kill a bunch of enemies while he's still floating, never taking off the Well of Life, and then you keep shooting him, and shooting him to regenerate amount of energy every time you go down. And then you use fourth when you see your health is fallen, and you do that, and you keep shooting and shooting and shooting this enemy that's floating and killing everything around you. And Link is also killing everything around you. You know, so but you have to know how to use her.
Got nothing better to do.
That's why I didn't include her. And then you go down to Valkyrie, another Warframe you know how to use, and then you pick her because she's just like Nyx. She could go invincible. Once you have 175 efficiency, turn on Hysteria, it's a wrap for any enemies. Always make sure you use Prime Flow, and always make sure the efficiency is at 175. Like here, put Prime Flow on 175, and make sure your strength level is above 200, and it's a wrap for any enemies. You can't die at all. Even if you don't want to kill enemies using her fourth, you use her fourth to make sure you never die. So she's included in there as well. and then you go to someone like Whips, like I just said, and then you go to someone like Zaku, who strips every enemy's weapons and stun enemies, and then you go to someone like Wukong, like I said before, whose sole purpose is to go invisible, use his twin as a decoy, and to have damage multiplier using his fourth. And those are the 12 Warframes, and Trinity being like the 13, but you only really need those 12 Warframes. And as a beginner, I would suggest starting with Rhino to make your life easier. So after you get your first Warframe, was Mag, Volt, or Excalibur, the next Warframe you should go after is Rhino. And once you pick Rhino, you can coast through every mission in the game on the star chart. Easy. Even some difficult missions that are not part of the star chart. And once you get tired of Rhino, then you could explore those 12 Warframes, or those 11 Warframes like I just said, which is Hildren, Ivara, Loki, Nyx, Revenant, Sarn, Titania, Valkyr, Wisp, Zaku, and Wukong. Those are the ones that are going to make you survive a hell of a lot longer than any of the other Warframes. Maybe Wukong might fall before, like say someone like Zaku. Maybe Zaku might fall at the same time Wukong. But it's highly unlikely that Wisp will fall before any of these two. You know. Now if you're the type that really I don't want to go through 12 Warframes, I just need top 3 or the top 5. Well, top 5 will be the ones that are most likely not to die and most likely will work more than any other Warframe. So I would say I would go with the ones that have the most armor and the most health. That would probably be Revenant, and that would probably be Grendel. I didn't include Grendel in this. I should have. But I don't have them, that's why I didn't include them. It would be Revenant and Grendel together, and Sarn. 1, 2, 3. And if you don't know how to use Sarn, it would be Revenant, Grendel, and Hildren. Those 3. Are those the top 3? No. Those are the ones based on if you're really shitty at playing the game, those are the ones I'll pick. Grendel. So in all truth, there's more like 14 Warframes. I didn't include Grendel because I don't have them, because I assume them, but there's really like 14. Trinity is the 13, Grendel's the 14. All the other Warframes are pretty much good, but they're not that great. Those are the Warframes I will always go for. Every other Warframe that wasn't mentioned can die pretty easy if they get shot in the back or from the sides, because most of them are frontal Warframes. They're not 360 degree Warframes. Alright, Hildren is a 360 degree Warframe. Ivara is not a 360 degree Warframe, but she could go invisible, so it doesn't even matter. Loki is not a 360 degree Warframe, but he's also a 360 degree Warframe, because he could go invisible and he could use his fourth to do a 360 degree spin and remove weapons from everyone's hands. So if you're ever in a mission and you realize the enemy are all running at you with melee weapons, but no one has guns in their hands, it's because Loki removed all the guns from their hands. That's his 360 degree. And who's also Nyx is not 360 degree, but Nyx is invincible once she put on her fourth, so it doesn't matter. You could be in a room of 1,000 Warframes all shooting at her at once. Once her fourth is on, she's basically a god. And then Revenant is a 360 degree Warframe. Rhino's a 360 degree Warframe. You stomp on the ground. Everyone within 360 degree, no matter where they are, whether they're on the second floor, third floor, first floor, or around them, all go up into the air and get stunned. Sarn is a 360 degree Warframe. Titania is not really a 360 degree Warframe, but when she becomes a butterfly, she could basically do a 360 degree and kill everything because no one could really track her. Valkyrie is not a 360 degree Warframe, but like Nyx, when she put on her fourth, you can't really kill her. And Trinity is a 360 degree Warframe. When she put on her links, every enemy within 360 degree get hit, so if someone shoot her in the back of the head, the link will then transfer the bullet from the back of her head, go straight towards them and hit them instead. Something like that. And then Zaku's a 360 degree Warframe. Well, actually a 180 degree Warframe, so he's not really 360. So of all the ones I mentioned, I would say he is the weakest with regards to survivability. He only survived for a long time if he could strip the weapons from the enemy's hands. And of course, just like him, Wukong is not really a 360 degree, and he can get shot in the back of the head. But he has lots of armor, lots of health, and he has the Cloudwalker ability to make him go invisible. So once he takes heavy damage, he just goes invisible, get to a safe place, and does I believe his ability of his Celestial Twin. If you put on the mod, the Syndicate mod for his Celestial Twin, what the Celestial Twin mod will do is allow him to slam into the ground when he is invisible to make all enemies around him in a 360 degree, depending on your range, go up into the air, like Rhino doing his Rhino Stomp or Vauban doing his lift. It's the same thing as Rhino Stomp. He slams into the ground, everyone gets lifted up into the air. So he's kind of a 360 degree Warframe as well. So those were the 14 Warframes that you really need. Well, the 14 Warframes that is good to have, and they all look good. You don't really need all 14. You only really need 3 to 5, like the ones I said, which is Grendel, Hildren, or Revenant. Armor, health, and all that together. Now, if you're having trouble with those 3, then you throw in someone like Sarn and throw in someone like Loki. Like, a lot of people will pick Loki and Ivara because they don't want to do any type of work whatsoever at all. Which is, they don't want to try the slightest. They just want to go invisible and kill everything. In that case, it's perfect because the enemy don't know where you are, and you can kill anything, even bosses at the same time. So those are the 14 best Warframes in the game, period. Ashe is good for killing, Atlas is alright, Banshee is good for killing. The problem is all these Warframes can die after they stay in mission for over an hour pretty easy. Chroma won't die, but the problem with Chroma, while he's not in my top 14 or in top 12 or 14, is because if you're not sure exactly when to turn on his ability, you'll miss that window and you will lose. The same as for Inaros. If you don't know how to use Inaros, you will lose all the time. You have to know how to use him. Kind of the same thing with Akome and with Lavos and with Mag. They require a little bit more thinking. You could say the same with regards to Sarn as well, but I believe Sarn is more understandable and more lenient than other Warframes. But those are my 14. Those are the only ones that you really need. Like, you really need in the game to make your life easy. No matter what the game throws at you, you only really need those. Like, let's say if you were to fight an Eidolon and someone's asking for a Harrow, then you would need someone like a Harrow because he does a specific thing. But you really don't need that at all if you have Warframes that could have lots of armor, lots of health, and they have certain specific resistance. Like, let's say the Eidolon procs a lot of radiation. Well, if you use Sarn's healing ability, she could heal herself before she goes down. And if the enemy procs a lot of radiation and knocks off Rhino's skin, all he needs to do is put it back on. And you could use his Mesmer ability to resist proccing from there. And the same goes for Trinity as well. If she has high amounts of duration period, which is here, like here, and she has link ability on, and the Eidolon proc radiation, she punches the ground with her fourth ability, she won't go down. She will lose a lot of energy, but she won't go down. My point is, you only really need 14 Warframes. So, with regards to what's coming in hot, 2025, I would say those are the ones that are hot. Those are the ones that, in my opinion, that are hot. I really should turn the volume down for this damn music. And trying to talk over the damn music the whole time. But those are the 14. You don't really need anything beyond those 14. I've been trying to think to myself.
Wait, where are we going?
1, 2, 3. Yeah, I really don't see these ones needed whatsoever at all. I mean, I know Dante is good, I know Chroma is good, and Banshee is good in their specific, and even Excalibur in their specific attributes. But we are talking about survivability, and I'm talking about if I want to hold my controller with one hand and drink a cup of coffee with the other, all I need is to press two buttons. One to move the character forward, and the other to press the button for them to move into a certain direction. And I don't have to worry about them dying too much because the control is so simple to use, and the character's powers are so easy to use. I could simply just use one hand to use the character. And that, with the exception to Sarn, that's what these Warframes are. The Hildren, the Ivara, the Loki, the Nyx, the Revenant. Sarn is a little more complicated. You might need your two hands for that. Same thing with Trinity. Same thing with Valkyr. Same thing with Wisp. Same thing with Zaku. You can't miss with these Warframes. Like, even someone like Volt, who does the highest amount of damage, if you're throwing him in a mix with a room with like 50 guys that are all Xumas and level 200s, he is gonna die. Same thing with Uriel. Same thing with Corvix. Corvix might survive for a very long time because he has a ridiculous amount of armor and health. And I think maybe I missed him. But see, the thing is about Corvix is that his powers aren't really that great. His armor and his health is great, but his powers aren't really that great. He charges forward and does this. Who cares? He does this. The only power that it's good. He does this. Well, actually no. When I think about it, the only power that's really good is this one. This one works okay, but the amount of enemies that pop up all the time, you feel like it's not really doing anything. And the last one is kind of useless. So in all truth, he only really has like two abilities that really work, and then he has his health and his armor. I didn't include him in there because maybe I should have. Maybe he should. Okay, for hell's sakes, I'm gonna put him as the 15th, but I rarely use him. But now that I think about it, because he has that amount of health and that amount of armor, and he has two abilities, he's my 15th. So there you go. Last but not least, Corvix. So that's it for this video. I gotta go. Oh yeah, and that's and the last thing was, I think I already did the mission. So I did the mission already. So you go into this mission in order to hunt the Follie Warframe. You look around for different painting stuff, like crystals floating into the air, like ink ooze into the air. It sounds like crystals. You find the ink ooze. You blast the ink ooze with your operator power. You then move from the ink ooze the power straight into a painting, and you rinse and repeat. That's all you do. I'll do it one last time. But I know the guy that was asking the question before. He left a long time ago, and I gave a long-winded answer. But if you want specifics of things that work all the time, that was the specifics of a very long-winded answer. 14 warframes can get the job done, and with little hassle, and with you just using one hand, or maybe one hand for about 5 seconds, and then you have to switch to both hands. So you come into this mission. Well, what am I doing? Okay. So you come into this mission, and you run into this wall. And then once you're in here, you find 3 paintings. It's more like you have to find a lot of different ink stalls, and they look like floating ink blots. And you shoot them with your operator. So find an ink block, and then you come to one of these paintings. And here it is. So they typically make a sound like a crystal. And then you shoot it with the operator. And then once the ink gets onto your operator, you then run to the painting that's marked. And then you just stand next to it, and then the ink will automatically go onto the painting. And then you rinse and repeat. And you use your operator in these cases not for looking, but for survival, because the operator doesn't die. The Warframe can go down, but not the operator. So you just rinse and repeat with that.
Very well. We have other, less gentle methods. Cast the bad thoughts out of your mind and onto the canvas. Out they go.
See, it doesn't allow you to use your Warframe to shoot it. You have to shoot it with your operator.
I'll deal with you presently.
So if you don't want to go invisible with your operator, you could just put on the Shade Warframe, the Shade Sentinel, and it will make you go invisible once enemies are around for a short period. Or you could use an invisible Warframe like Loki or Avara, so you're not bothered by the enemy. You could also shoot those little red globes, like those things that are health, trying to destroy your health. You shoot them and they go down, those bubbles.
Don't smudge it. Just let your brush do what it wants. It might surprise you.
One's above me. I hear it. It's above me. Oh no, it's right here.
Oh, you filthy little... Is this really what you see? Fascinating. Go on.
So every time one of those red bubbles pop up, you just shoot it, because it's gonna try to drain your health.
It's just balloons. Nothing to be scared of. What's wrong? Is it the voices again? That's right. Breathe slowly. It was only a hallucination. And there it all is, laid out as plain as day.
Alright,
Painted. Just as
this time
Master
I got the
Koza
chassis,
said.
I'm lucky. So I don't have to buy the chassis now. I have chassis, I have the neuroptics, and the only thing left is the system. So this, you could basically get this Warframe in about 2 days.
Tenno, I'm sorry.
If you're playing for
but I'm
4
going
hours,
to
you
need
could
you
get
to
it
bring
in
me a
like
lot
2
more
days.
ink.
But if you're
I
playing
went
it
a little crazy
all
thinking of
day,
different things.
the whole
And the
day,
ink made
you
words
could get
every
it
time,
within
but
just
I
1
don't
day.
remember them now. And the ink's all gone. I'm going to try copying what it shows me. That way, it might stay in my head.
Now after you collected enough of those crimson inks, you then go to the relay and then speak to that guy that was on the monitor just now.
The other aspirants threw ink all over me when I could not learn my letters. 5 sealed letters.
Okay,
That's all Arbiter Kozai left me in the world.
so you have a
Why
letter.
would he do that?
You
When
have
he
a
knows I can't read. He
So-
promised to teach me the sacred script of Hexus, but he never did. And now he's gone.
so you have one letter for each part of a Warframe. You have the blueprint of the Warframe, you have the neuroptics of the Warframe, you have chassis of the Warframe, you have system of the Warframe, and the 5th letter is for something else. I don't know what the 5th letter is for, but you have a letter for each part. So this is because I got the chassis. You now
Letter
have the
number
second
2.
second letter.
Zorba. Kozai has work to do. Teach. I don't know this word. Teach. blobby thing? Truth. Learn truth too. Much change. Big surprise. Huh. Okay.
So this guy is apparently the education of Orokin teachings is not something that's common. It's not like learning English and math and something. It's a specific. It's like learning elf language or something like that. So it's a specific dialect that only a few people know, and he was never taught how to read those type of scripts. So I think I'm not sure the Orokin language was something that was taught to everyone, and I think some people know of it, or maybe certain specific dialects. Certain specific dialects weren't common to everyone. They were tried just like weapons and armors and warframes were duplicated using corpus technology and Grenier. I think the whole thing with regards to Orokin has been vastly unknown.
But someday I'll be an arbiter.
But that's it for this video. I'm pretty much done. Did the mission. Wasn't difficult. It's probably the easiest one out of every Warframe missions with regards to getting a Warframe. And I basically answered a question to some guy that probably just showed up for like 1 minute, expecting to get like a 1 minute answer in a game that's been around for like more than 12 years. And I told him like, those are your 12 Warframes, and eventually the 12 became 15. If I thought about it, like in great detail. And the 15th one was this guy right here, Corvex. Because if you subsume just one of his ability, one of his shitty ability, he has 2 very good ability, now a very good subsume ability, that's 3 ability. And plus he has a lot of health, and he has a lot of armor, so he'll survive for a very long time in mission. Especially if he takes on one of Sarn's ability, or takes on one of Wisp ability, crowd control ability, or even Rhino's strength ability. He'll survive, or Grendel's replenish ability. He'll survive for a long time. So yeah, 15 Warframes to me are the best in the game. And maybe, just maybe, if you decide to throw in someone like Inaros, Chroma, and Limbo, but you really have to know how to use them at precise seconds in order for them to be of any value past 1 hour of survival mission. So that's it. Those are the fairly the 15 most decent Warframes to use that won't cause you too much problems, and you could be able to survive long in any mission. And I've been thinking all the different type of bosses in the game who are the Warframes that are essential to fight any particular bosses, and it'll be those 15. You know, because I remember the what's her name, the Orb Mother on Orb Valis, the giant spider. Many people used to use Chroma, but eventually they learned how to kill her fast using Grendel and other Warframes as well. So Chroma, Inaros, and I'm trying to Inaros. Yeah, just Chroma and Inaros. Chroma, Inaros, and Limbo. Chroma, Inaros, and Limbo might be able. I might put them into the list as well. But I don't know. It's like Limbo, no. Inaros, if you don't know how to use them, you'll die a lot, and especially versus Orb Mother, you'll die. And if you don't know how to use Chroma with his energy, you'll die with him as well. Yeah, so I'll stick to my 15. Those are the 15 Warframes you really need. And if you're very frightened and worried, then I might throw in Chroma and Inaros and a Limbo to get the number up to like 18 Warframes in total. There are about more than 50 Warframes in the game, but in all truth, you only really need like 15 or 18 of them out of those 50 Warframes. And those are the ones I say. Chroma, Inaros, and Limbo are thrown in as sides, as extras. I would throw them in as extras. But you only really need those 15, as I said before. And only those 15. Now, off the top of my head, it will always be Ildren. It would always be Grendel. It will always be Loki. It will always be Ivara. It will always be Revenant. It will always be Sarn. It will always be Nyx and Valkyr. It will always be Wukong. It will always be Zaku. It will always be Wisp. It will always be Trinity and Titania. And Corvex being 13th. And the 14th will be one I'm missing on the top of my head. A, B, C, D. C, D, E, C, H, I, J, K. Yeah, I can't remember the 14th one, but it's 14 of them. If I was miscalculating and it's not 14, it's 13. Those are the ones I just said. I believe there's 14 now. I'm missing one, but those are the 14 one. And then if you add in Chroma, if you add in Limbo, and if you add in Inaros into the flavor as well, add those three, 15, 16, 17. It's actually 17. 17, not 18, 17. If you add in those three as well on top of it, you get 17 Warframes. I don't know why I said 18, but yeah, that's it. You know what? Let me just... It's hard to remember all the stuff off the top of your head. But some Warframes are so good you could just remember off the top of your head. So it's like I said, it was 1, Ildren, 2, Ivara, 3, Inaros, Chroma 4, 5, Loki, 6, Limbo, 7, Nyx, 8, Revenant, 9th. That was a 14th, Rhino. 9th, Rhino. 10th, Sarn. 11th, Titania. 12th, Valkyr. 13th, Trinity. 14th, Wisp. 15th, Zaku. 16th, sorry, 16 actually. Why am I going with the 17 nonsense? Wukong, Zaku. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, there it is. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So it was 17. Final check. Final check. Final check. Chroma. I'm going left to right. Chroma. 1. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Sup? 17. Alright, that's all I need to know. 17 Warframes. Those are the only 17 you need. Truthfully, you only need 15. Or should I say, truthfully, you only need 14. But if you add the Naros, if you add the Chroma, if you add the Lemo, that will get you to 17. So those are the only Warframes you will ever need for anything. Or Mother, Kuva bosses, Sanctuary Onslaught, Samarist, Archon hunts, sorties, long survivals, stealth missions, anything you could think of, these 17 can do. Chroma could do any tank missions. So is Hildren could do any tank missions, like take a lot of damage. Ivara could stay invisible. She don't even have to worry about fighting anyone. She kill everyone. Same, he could do tank as well. Loki the same. He could stay invisible. Limbo could basically stop everyone. Yeah, and survive and get energy back as well. Same thing for her. She's almost god tier. But as long as she has energy, he has a lot of health, a lot of armor. Same as it has a lot of health and Mesquistine. Yeah, I could go back and forth and say same things over and over and over and over again. And at the end of the day, I will always pick the same Warframes, no matter what. I would never pick Zephyr. I would never pick Ureli. I would never pick Varuna. These are specific Warframes that could do specific things. But in the long run, if you look at their abilities, most of their abilities are attacking and going invisible. But if you don't know how to use their abilities at specific times, over and over again, you run out of energy and you may stumble and die. Typically, it's best to use Warframes that aren't heavily dependent on energy, and that's the reason why why Hildren is picked. And if you are going to use Warframes that heavily dependent on energy, they have to be able to be efficient, very efficient on energy, and that's why Loki and Vara are picked. And if they're going to be a Warframe that's not going to be efficient in energy, they have to be able to get energy back from enemies for the energy they use, such as Limbo and such as Hildren. And if let's say if none of that applies, and you both have an efficient Warframe, but you find yourself still dying no matter what you do, And that's why I threw in a Nyx, and that's why I threw in a Valkyrie. So you can make life easy for yourself at those last moments. And pick up all your allies that's been down, and none of the enemies will be able to hurt you. And the same thing for Rhino, and the same thing for Revenant. They can make you survive for a long time. They're not invincible, but they are able to get you past most bosses. And the same thing for Sarn. She'll be able to get you past most bosses, and she will only go down if you don't know how to use her kit. But as long as you know how to use her kit, and as long as you know how to regenerate with Malt, and use her Toxic Lash and Malt, or should I say Malt and Spores in tandem together, it's highly unlikely that you will go down. And then the same goes with Titania. As long as you're an invisible butterfly, or should I say a very small butterfly, you can fly around the room really quick, faster than you can as a Warframe, and it's highly unlikely that you'll die and go down. So yeah, those are the 17 Warframes. Hildren, Ivara, Inaros, or should I say Chroma, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Yeah, 17. Those are the 17 Warframes. Alright, I'm good. I think this has been like 3 hours already, or about 3 hours, but I wanted to make sure for myself as well that I was accurate about what I was saying. And I am. When it comes to survivability and long survival, these Warframes will survive for a very long time. Now, maybe I'm off regards to some of them, but I would say a good 10 out of the 17 I picked are guaranteed to survive very, very long. And if you know how to use the other 7, then you could survive for a very long time, but you would really have to know how to use them. But that's my answer towards whoever had asked of that question a long time ago. The guy probably left. But if anyone comes across this video, I would always pick these Warframes above any other Warframe because they're easier to use than any other Warframe. And if they're a bit difficult and tricky to know how to use it, it's because I know how to use them. Quite simple. So you could go from someone as simple as Rhino to someone who a little bit more complicated like Sarn, and you survive for a long time as long as you know how to use their kit. They're easy to use, go from easy to more difficult, but they are always going to be fan favorites based on their kit in general. All the other Warframes, however, their kit are also fan favorites, but they don't survive for a very long time. And you can't use them in every single type of mission. Like you can't use tempo in stealth missions and think you're gonna survive in stealth missions. And you can't use tempo against like the orb mauler on the giant sized spider, mechanical spider, an orb Valis, solo her with tempo and think you're going to survive. And you might be able to solo her with Sarn. I mean, when not with Sarn, with Ivara, or maybe even with Sarn. Well, I doubt it was Sarn, but with Ivara, yes. You might be able to even solo it with Hildren if you know how to use it. But it's highly unlikely that anyone could solo that Orb Mother anyway, by themselves. But the ones that you can do within a group of 4 people are the Warframes that I've mentioned. The 17 Warframes that I've mentioned. They can do it without going down more than once. Like every other Warframe I've used to fight her have gone down more than once. Ash, Atlas, Banshee, Baruch, Caliban. Hell, I believe I even went down maybe twice with Chroma before I defeated her. So that's my point I'm trying to make. Like everything I'm saying is kind of long-winded, but in all truth, you could basically kill a lot of things with these 17 Warframes and make your life very, very simple. Especially with someone like Titania, who could literally turn into a small butterfly and invade evade any type of physical attack, whether it's a melee or a gunshot to him. So that's it for this video. I'm done. I'm tired of explaining the most obvious thing that should be obvious to many people. But I'm good. I understand people don't understand Warframe that much, and some that do. But every now and again I decide to do videos and state the obvious. Alright, I'm done.